Today's video is sponsored by Camel City Mill. Welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. I had a pretty productive afternoon. Then we had a whole bunch of rain, but I managed to process a bunch of firewood and get all loaded up for tomorrow. Kind of a full service delivery here. Got a bunch of 2x4s and a cord of mixed hardwoods. That's about 1/3 of a cord oak and then maple and cherry. All this is going to the same customer. Nice stuff. But anyway, I'll report back from the road tomorrow morning. All right, it is first thing in the morning. I am on my way to deliver this load of firewood and lumber. This is a real tight driveway, but I think I found a better approach to it. I looked on Google Maps, and I'm going to come in a different direction so I can back in off the driver's side instead of the passenger side. Much easier. Got everything delivered, dropped off, and I also picked up 5 empty IBC totes, which we desperately need back at the wood bunker. Watch out, one tree back there in my mirror. I'm telling you, this is, I don't know what it looks like on camera, but this is a tight one getting into right here. Got the mailbox right across the street. These 2 planters right here. The street's kind of narrow, but the key was coming in from that direction today, and that way I could back in off the driver's side. Much easier. got back to the house, just dropping the dump trailer off, but I got 5 baskets here. Levi will fill these up this afternoon, but things are progressing pretty well. I was just looking at my little wood shed here. This is going to go down to the cabin, and I tell you what, as soon as it warms up, it'll be ready for stain. It will. I built this out of green lumber, but it's drying very nicely here under the pavilion. Look at these gaps right here. These were butted tight against one another when I built it, and that's how much that wood shrinks, which I expected. I wanted a little bit of airflow, you know, for a wood shed. But yeah, I'd say it's just about ready to stain. I have a one of those Graco sprayers. I'll spray it with an oil-based stain, put the metal roof on, haul it down to the cabin. I'd like to build more of these. This is kind of a wintertime project. You could even sell these, you know. They don't take long to build, and I saw them all out of pine right off the mill. The runners on the bottom, they're white oak, but everything else is red pine. Levi was working on this morning. He just ran the Huntman out for a bit. Woodshed is almost completely filled. Got just a little bit to go in this center bay. This one here, that's all 100% red oak in there. That's been in there for a while. We can use that next winter. Really, any of this stuff will be dry by next winter. This is all cherry and maple in those 2 bays there. But as soon as we get that emptied out again, that'll take a couple days. That's all maple and cherry. Once that's out of there, we'll get into some of these logs here. There's a lot of hickory and red oak in here. There's still some cherry and maple, but we'll focus on the hickory and maple. Probably fill up 20 baskets of that stuff and then go back to the maple and cherry. So like the hickory and the red oak and the white oak in here, it won't be ready for this year. Unless we want to kiln dry some of it, we could always do that. But yeah, I want to see how that processor does with the hickory. I think it'll do fine. So it is a nasty day down here at the woodyard. It's starting to rain right now, thunder off in the distance. I've been on my feet all morning, but they've been nice and comfortable. And you know why? Camel City Mill socks. I told you I'm not going to stop talking about these until everybody's feet are as happy as mine. These socks are fantastic. They wick sweat 35% better than cotton and polyester. They keep your feet comfortable throughout a 14-hour work shift. They keep your feet warm in the wintertime, cool in the summertime. And the icing on the cake is 100% American made right down in North Carolina. They're phenomenal. They really are. If you don't believe me, read through some of the comments from other people that have bought the Camel City Mill socks. They stay up, which is important. They come in ankle, crew, and boot lengths. You can't go wrong. Get 10% off my favorite work socks from Camel City Mill with code Morgans10. Link in the description. All right, I'm going to head down to the sawmill now for a little bit. I need to pull out a couple red pine logs. I need to saw some more rafters for that building out by the clearing. I need to get back on that and get that finished up. And then a bunch of these attachments that are under the pavilion down here and scattered about, I can put out there. So we're going to work on that, and probably, I don't know, the next day or two, I'll get back to work on that. And I also need to get down to the cabin soon. I may even be able to do that tomorrow. We're going to have to see. I'll have to look at what all I got going on. But I want to get back to work on that as well. It's that time of year. It's still early. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know last year I went down to the cabin. It was like the 1st of May. And I had like 4 inches of snow. So it's still early. But anything you can do to get a jump on things is a good thing. But if I get that building done out there, get all our firewood done in the next couple weeks, then I can concentrate on the cabin. I do want to go down there now just to kind of get things cleaned up after winter. It's always a mess. Pine needles everywhere, branches everywhere. I'm sure the driveway probably needs some attention. So when I get down, we'll focus on the outside stuff now. And then in a couple weeks, we'll go back down and work on finishing the inside, the shower house, all that. There's a lot of work to do down there. But I mentioned before, that is like my, I don't know, it's a lot of work when you get down there, but it's my relaxation time. I don't get too excited. Alright, got 5 rafters out of that one little log right there. These ones here have been sitting around a while. It's got that blue stain to it. Doesn't hurt a thing. That's why I reached to the back of the pile. I'll start using some of this stuff up. When we were at that place in Michigan, I went over this before. Blue stain pine. I didn't even know that was a thing. But they make tongue and groove out of this. A lot of people really like the blue stain. It does look nice with like a clear finish on it or something. But that's the reason you see the blue stain. And if you notice, that log didn't have any bark on it. So I think the blue stain will happen a little quicker on those logs than ones that still have the bark on it. But yeah, 5 rafters right there. I need about 17, 18 of them for that building. I'm not sure. But I got some other ones cut right there. We're getting close. Right now, I think I'm going to move a few things around here. We'll take this dump trailer over by the wood bunker. Levi can fill those baskets. And then I'm going to hook up to one of these trailers here. I think I'll take the tilt deck. We'll load the tractor up. And we'll get ready to head to West Virginia in the morning. All right, I got the tractor loaded up. I need to chain down, load up some tools in the truck, and I'm gonna get ready to head out early tomorrow morning, head down to the cabin. But anyway, I think that's about it for today's video. I appreciate y'all being here, and I will catch you on the next one.